All right, so let's talk about Todrick Hall, and it's a lot, child. So after the Real Friends of WeHo was slaughtered by critics, and online hate got so bad social media comments had to be disabled, Todrick Hall got online and decided to make things worse by clapping back at the show's haters. Now, the six-part series, which follows six semi-famous queens as the manufactured drama in a city they don't even hang out in, immediately became engulfed in controversy the minute it was announced that the series would be sandwiched between RuPaul's Drag Race and Untucked. What made things worse was when fans found out that RuPaul's Drag Race was normally ran for 90 minutes on VH1 before moving to MTV for its 15th season would be cut down to 42 minutes with commercials. That didn't sit right with fans, and one fan even took matters into their own hands by launching a change.org petition to restore Drag Race back to its 90-minute format. Now, as I pop up and click open this situation, let's see how many I want to see how many signatures they got so far. So as this live video is going on, it says they're trying to get 35,000 signatures. It is so far at 32,703. And the petition was started by Brandon Wu, who said this. I know this is probably petty, but MTV and WoW presents, we would like RuPaul's Drag Race to return to 90-minute episodes. The 90-minute format was unique to any other reality competition show where we actually have context for the content of episodes. Also, we really don't want the Real Housewives of WeHo to air. Given Todrick Hall's problematic behavior last year on Celebrity Big Brother, among other things, it's irresponsible to give him a platform he doesn't deserve, and he refuses to take accountability. So we ask politely and aggressively to add Drag Race to allow Drag Race to have the 90-minute fans deserve. Now, if y'all want to go sign that petition, just go over to chrisavalon.com and you can just look up the article. Gay Twitter drags Todrick Hall for chastising the people for not supporting Real Friends of the WeHo. The link is there. If you want to sign it, sign it. Back to this. Now, I should point out that Brad Goreski, James Hall, Curtis Hamilton, and Joey Zarzak have spoken out against all the Drag Race outrage, but I believe that the gripe should be taken out on Shady SMTV. And I said this last week when we did the whole breakdown of the first episode of Real Friends of WeHo. This is the MTV thing. So what they're trying to do is, because I've heard people say that they want to cut it down to an hour so that way they could do what they usually do at MTV. Rerun episodes 20 goddamn times a day. Like they do fucking ridiculousness. And Wildin' Out and all the other shows that they have. The very few that they have left. Because I already told y'all, MTV is the network where shows go to die. I told y'all that. So and I don't know why in their mind they think that, oh yeah, let's do a destination night. So we have Drag Race, then we have Real Friends of WeHo, and then we have Untucked. Oh, put all the games together. The problem with that is people don't watch TV like that anymore. People stream. People, they don't watch cable. I know a few dinosaurs that keep cable around, one of them being my roommate. He wants to be a dinosaur and keep his damn cable box. I move beyond that. I'm more progressive. I'm all about the internet. And there's plenty of streaming services. If you want to watch like well, first of all, I thought that MTV, if you were smart, you would be like Peacock, but they did with Bravo, and put Bravo on Peacock. So that way you have to go see the Bravo show on the Bravo channel first. And if you don't have Bravo, you just wait until the next day, and Peacock will basically put the Bravo stuff on the Peacock net. The Bravo stuff on Peacock. So that's how I watch the Real Housewives. But MTV, why don't y'all put y'all programming on Paramount Plus? That makes no sense. How people have to figure out, well, how can they watch MTV and all these other shows if you don't put it on, your streaming service? Because that's what people are doing now. More people are using streaming service than they use cable. Cable's too damn expensive. Unnecessarily so. So James Hall and all of them, like I said, they spoke out about it. They said that they love the fans. They know they're passionate. They have a right to be upset, but they will support and all that other stuff. They spoke out about it. I'm not gonna read everything they say word for word because we'll be here all night trying to break all this stuff down. But we're gonna get to what Todrick said. When I could scroll down and get it. Okay, so this is where he went. He went to his Instagram in a series of posts that chastised and gaslight the gay community for having the absolute goal of criticizing the refusal to watch the series based on vapid, stereotypical caricatures of gay people. First, he reenacted the Regina George fugly slut scene from Mean Girls, and I'll never look at that damn movie the same again. So he did that. I posted a little stuff on the article. He also published a 9-page letter before the show aired saying, "Dear friends, family, and fans, tonight a new show I'm a part of, The Real Friends of WeHo, premieres on MTV. This is very bittersweet for me because while I am very proud of the work we all did, I have to mentally prepare myself for the insane influx of hate that comes my way. It is extremely difficult to stay grounded and remember that most of the people spewing hate does personally know me as human." Trying to read this shit. Why did you have to put this shit in a script font? Because, girl, I'm struggling. The struggle is real. It's like I can't even read. But anyway, when an LGBTQ plus show was announced, you'd think any pushback would have come from the church or conservatives upset with 3 hours of queer programming on a major network. But a closer look would show you that the call was coming from inside the house. We fight for acceptance, yet we don't accept our own. We fight for representation, then fight against it when we get it because it doesn't come in the form we'd hoped. So here are my thoughts going into the night and this new chapter of my life. For the first time ever, MTV has 3 consecutive hours of queer representation, and the gays are creating potential to get a queer show taken off the air. Instead of focusing on the other 165 hours of the week where representation is either lacking or non-existent. Well, that's not true, because there's plenty of shows on TV that feature queer characters. You're not the only show. It said MTV would not ask RuPaul to cut her Emmy Award-winning hit on his 15th season to accommodate our little 6-episode show. The decisions were made months in advance, and even after our 6 weeks are up, you won't be getting 90-minute episodes. Let's practice fact-checking, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So I know I gave you a little bit of that because I talked about it last week. Now here's what he said after the premiere. He posted this thing. He said if the haters had watched the show, they would have seen an appearance of Emmy Award winner beacon of Black queer community and ally Issa Rae. Well, I did watch the show and I told y'all about it. I said Issa Rae was on the show, but she was on the show because she knows Curtis Hamilton. Curtis Hamilton did a couple of episodes of Insecure, and that's why he was on the show. I mean, she was on the show because they had to have that interaction. He also mentioned 2 beloved winners from Drag Race franchise, Bob and Monet, because they were on the show, and I said that they were on the show because they had Todrick on the episode of Sibling Rivalry. But I also heard that people were coming at Bob and Monet for having Todrick on Sibling Rivalry, and I think that there was a super chat or something or another that they rescinded, that somebody sent, and I guess they threw shade at them. So they sent the money back. It was like, we're not going to accept it because I guess you're not going to come at us for who we have on our show. Now, here's the thing. Bob and Monet have a right to have whoever they want on their podcast. If you don't like the person that's on the show, don't watch it. You know how many shows that are currently on social media, on YouTube and all these other places where they have celebrities that I don't particularly care for? I don't watch it. It's that simple. I don't understand why people always feel the need, if they don't like somebody, to air their grievances on why they don't. How dare you have, excuse you, bitch. First of all, I can have whatever the fuck I want on my goddamn show. If I want to interview Jesus goddamn Christ, if I want to dig up his body, wherever the fuck they got his ass at, I'm going to interview him. Whether you like it or not. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But we're in this time of where people, when they don't like something, they have to air their grievances and let you know, and they want you to just immediately side with them. And if you don't, then they want to cancel you too. It's like, okay, you don't like me, somebody else will. Now back to the story. He says the fact that our community is boycotting the show is a shame. He also talked about Curtis coming out of the closet, who I did watch the recent episode and I saw he was still struggling with this whole thing, because I know in next week's episode they go to this wig thing and they're going to Palm Springs because Todrick's going to be performing at Palm Springs Pride. And Curtis is feeling uncomfortable. He doesn't want to go to Pride. He doesn't want to wear the wigs. He doesn't do it. No, look, here's the thing. Not all gay people need to be the stereotypical gay. Not all of us walking around in pumps and booty shorts and a wig and makeup. We are not a monolith. And I know that the industry loves to perpetuate that because it makes it easier for straight people to identify a gay person. So you pick these stereotypes because it's easier for the people at home, you know, the straight folks or whatever, to watch it. But you got to think about your audience. And another thing I thought about, he was sitting there saying this is about LGBTQ representation. No, it just represents the G in the LGBTQ plus. Doesn't represent the entire demographic. And yeah, we got 3 black people on the show, but at the same time, you have no women, lesbians, meaning no trans women. And they're like, when they say, like, if you go on the YouTube shows, they have many reality shows based in this whole Real Housewives type of vibe. There are trans women on the shows. There are non-binary people on these shows. There's a plethora of different people of different gender identities on these shows that are represented. The Real Friends of WeHo is a mainstream show, but they're still stuck in this time of this is what gay is. And what a gay is a Todrick Hall and a Brad Goreski. They're the representation of all gays. So anyway, he said, thanks for those who are supporting the show. Drag Race wasn't polished in its first season. Neither was Real Housewives. Queer audiences didn't support the A-list, Noah's Ark, Fire Island, Bros, Prom, or Drag Race initially. They want 20 more minutes of a show, but instead of taking it up with the programming people who made these timing decisions, they're attacking us as if we had something to do with it. Here's the thing. We did support Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark lasted 2 seasons on Logo. The problem was Noah's Ark was a huge hit for Logo, and they didn't want that because it was featuring black homosexuals. So that's the tea with that. Like, y'all don't like when people of color become this big thing, or maybe Logo ain't had the damn money. I need the true tea for Patrick and Pope, but Noah's Ark could have lasted many more seasons. I know plenty of people that was watching that show and was supporting it. So I don't know what he's talking about. We didn't support Bros because you were coming across like Billy Eichner in a lot of your grievances. You think, oh, well, because you're gay and you made this film that's totally out of touch with the rest of the world, it's dated and it's tired and wasn't funny. To me and many people. But because we didn't support Bros, we're bad people. I supported the A-list. I watched both seasons of the New York one and the first season of the Austin one. And quiet as kept, I did hear that this show, Real Friends of WeHo, was initially supposed to be called the A-list Los Angeles. We're going to get into that. And it was confirmed by Dorian. So we're going to get into that story in a second, but I just want to wrap this up. So he says, but maybe the episodes are shortened because MTV famously reruns its shows in 1-hour segments, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So it's a whole lot. You can go on my website and read all of that. It was just so much that he was going into where, you know, he addressed certain things, but really didn't address it. Then he doubled down on the criticism of Real Friends of WeHo, said, we are thrilled to watch rich Kardashians of Real Housewives. We only want to watch gays be underdogs. And it's like, I don't watch the Kardashians. In fact, I can't stand them hoes. I try to avoid them build the bitches any chance I get. The reality is, I can't escape them because the media continues to want to shove them down our throat. And here's the reality. The Kardashians aren't as poppin' as they would like, as the media would like you to believe. We ain't keeping up with them like that. Personally, we don't care. But because Kris Jenner got her hand up TMZ's ass and all these other people, they continue to spoon feed us. And what pisses me off even more is that black blogs and black media continue to support these hoes who have just continuously stolen from the black community. Makeup ideas, fashion, hair, all kinds of stuff. The whole beauty brand is stolen from black people. Black women. So, um, but all y'all consider together playing with white and black. I don't care about the Kardashians. I don't want to keep up with them hoes. I've been saying that. So I don't watch them. So don't generalize, because not all of us keep up with the Kardashians or care. Now, the Real Housewives, it depends on the franchise. I do watch New York when it was on, but I got to see what's going to happen when they reinvent it and finally bring it to TV, who they're going to cast on the show. I do watch Beverly Hills because of Garcelle and all the other drama. I do watch New Jersey, looking forward to the new season because of Teresa delusional behind. And a whole bunch of others. So I'm looking for, so there's certain housewives shows I watch. I don't watch all of them. And I watch Atlanta. So, but here's the thing with them. Those women are entertaining. They're unashamed in the craziness that they do. So I don't know why you sit up here trying to compare what you guys are doing to the housewives. Now, I do agree. There are some people out there that y'all will support the housewives, but look down on gay people. And I love the fact that Todrick did address in this last episode that even he's guilty of it. We are so quick to support the Dua Lipas, the Lady Gagas, the Madonnas, the Kylies, the Britneys, all of these pop divas, but y'all will not show that same support for these LGBTQ artists that are struggling and are out here trying to make music for our community. But we bring up the women. So we do need to give that equal love and support to our own as well as those divas. Now, I love my pop girls, but I love my queer pop artists too, and I do support them. I listen to Kim Petras. Even though I don't know why he put Kim Petras in there. Kim Petras is a part of our community. So you would think they would listen to her. Like, she's a trans girl. So I listen to Kim Petras. I listen to my LGBTQ rappers. Like, Case the Killer is one of my favorites. I listen to Lil Nas X. I listen to Adam Lambert and Sam Smith. Sam Smith's album, definitely, I did live for it. This, when I listened to it yesterday, yeah. So, but the child, I'm getting to the rest of this article, but child, we will be here all night. But the tweets was the key. So let me read you a couple of these tweets, and then we can move on to the next topic. They said, what Todrick Hall and other self-important, shallow gay artists don't understand is that we do not want to be represented by another stereotypical, mean-spirited, catty, attituded gay band on a major platform directed for all audiences. You are not a martyr, just uncreative. And this is because Pop Crave posted, Todrick addresses the queer community in lengthy letters shared to social media, saying when our LGBTQ show was announced, you'd think any pushback would have come from the church, but the call was coming from inside the house. So that whole situation. Justin Kirkland said if Drag Race really wanted to build out a super gay Friday night, they'd nix the Real Friends of WeHo and continue with the recent yet beloved tradition of airing a super queer movie after each episode. Licensing Death Becomes Her must be cheaper than Todrick Hall's salary. Harrison Brocklehurst said Todrick Hall is so out of touch, it's unreal, and nothing proves it more than him spitting his dummy out because nobody wants to watch his load of rich gays on Hollywood over queens from Drag Race showcasing their talent and artistry. Another one said Todrick Hall trying to spin the disdain for Real Friends of WeHo is hate within our community is the most tone-deaf thing. We don't want this show because it's about typical WeHo gays. Show us something interesting and not self-absorbed. Let's do one more and then we'll yes, Todrick, we do need more inclusion and representation in media other than Yes, Todrick, we do need more inclusion and representation in media other than competitions. However, you are not the representation we want. You are toxic, pass the torch. Maybe then people will get paid. Well, look, MTV picked them. They thought that he was going to be, that we were going to hate watch for one thing, but it was all for the wrong reasons. But here's the thing for me. The series of posts to me felt like someone was having a manic episode. And someone who has paid attention to how Frederick responds to people and call him out on his BS, he has always come across to me as someone who fails to read the room. And he always comes across as nothing more than a sociopath in a lot of stuff he says. And what the sociopathic behavior is going to be is what I'm about to read y'all in a minute. So I don't know why people like him and Hollywood execs expect us to support low-hanging TV fruit just because it's pandering to the gay community. Like, we are not a monolith. I've said this before. So what gay people want to see are films and shows that reflect who we are, and picking a bunch of self-absorbed queens to shout at each other. So that's not what we want. We basically, I mean, don't get me wrong. I live for a Kiki and a Cattle and a Caddy. We watch the reality shows that we watch, but there needs to be a balance. And I don't think we get a balance from a lot of these girls. Except I have to say, Dorian read Joey for filth in this recent episode, bitch. And he was up there calling his security and stuff. And the security thing, I was like, who does he remind me of with the whole security thing? Kenya Moore. So he is the Kenya Moore of this franchise. Hey, Sailor Mermaid. That's what Dorian gives me. Dorian gives me Kenya Moore of Real Friends of WeHo. You know, he got the butter skincare. She got Kenya Moore hair care. She likes to call on security, have security when the girls be wanting to kill her because she was being messy. He the same way. So I think, as usual, Todrick's missing the point. So here's what I'll have to explain to him. I think people would actually watch the show if he wasn't on it. And the series had a lot more to say about his characters outside of Curtis being an actor coming to terms with being an out gay man and Dorian dealing with his social anxiety. So outside of that, with Curtis struggling with his sexuality and the pleasing of his family, because that's what it seems like he's worried about. It's like, you know what? I'll even use myself as an example. Sometimes what it boils down to is you have to come out and be yourself and not worry about what other people think. Once you put out in the ether, that's for them to have to deal with. That's for them to have to sit with. Let them deal with it in their own time. But I'll be damned if I'm going to come out the closet and I'm going to have to hold myself back because I'm worried about people coming from my mother or my sister or whatever or my brother or whatever the case is. Oh, your son a faggot. I've had that said about me by relatives. And my mother and my sister have defended me. My sister cussed my uncle out because he was saying, oh, God, don't you. So I appreciate when that's how you know that love is there. When you have siblings, you have a parent who will have your back over that situation. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna let you sit on it and deal with it in your own time or whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, I have to live my life and I have to be me. I'd be damned if I'm gonna sit on some damn pins and needles because you worrying about what other people think. You can't control what other people think. All you can do is tell your truth. You either accept it, you don't. Take your time with it. But I have to live my life at some point. I have to live my tea. That's all. So let's